Welcome to Surendra Educational Academy. This is a heat lesson, third period. Specific heat. So, in this lesson, in this period, we are going to learn about specific heat. To understand specific heat, we are conducting a small activity. Take one large beaker, take some water in the beaker and heat it up to 80 degrees Celsius. Now, take two identical boiling test tubes and take 50 grams of oil in the one boiling test tube and 50 grams of water in the second boiling test tube. Close the boiling test tubes with one holed rubber corks. Through that hole, arrange the thermometer in each boiling test tube. Now, place the two boiling test tubes in the water with the help of the retard stands. Before to place the boiling test tubes in the water, oil and water, they are at a room temperature. After placing the boiling test tubes in the water, observe the temperature of the oil and water for every 3 minutes. Here, the rise of the temperature in the coconut oil, increasing faster than the water. Actually, we are providing same quantity of heat, that is 80 degrees Celsius, but the rate of rise in the temperature of coconut oil is more than the water, because coconut oil nature is different, water nature is different, both are different substances. From this activity, we can understand the rate of rise in the temperature is depending on the nature of the substance. Next activity, take two beakers, one small beaker and another one is a large beaker. Take 250 ml of water in the small beaker and 1 liter of water in the large beaker. Heat water in the both beakers up to they reach 60 degrees Celsius temperature, water in the both beakers. So, we are taking water in 250 ml in small beaker and 1 liter water in large beaker. We are heating water up to they reach 60 degrees Celsius in the both beaker. In which beaker take large time to reach the 60 degrees Celsius temperature. Commonly, the water in the large beaker take more time compared to the small beaker. So, in large beaker, the quantity of the water is more. That's why it is taking more time to reach the 60 degrees Celsius compared to the water in the small beaker. So, it is taking more time means we are providing large quantity of heat energy to the large beaker compared to the small beaker. So, here the temperature is constant. Both water in the both beakers are reaching 60 degrees Celsius temperature only. But the large beaker, water in the large beaker taking more heat energy to reach the 60 degrees Celsius compared to the water in the small beaker. So here both water in the both beakers are reaching 60 degrees Celsius, but the water in the large beaker is taking more quantity of heat energy. From this activity, we can understand for same change in the temperature, the heat energy absorbed by the substance is directly proportional to the mass of the substance. That means the heat energy, the quantity of heat absorbed by the substance, that is denoting with a Q. This is directly proportional to mass of the substance. That means mass of the substance is denoting with M. So from this activity we can understand for same change in the temperature, the quantity of heat energy is directly proportional to mass of the object. Yet when the delta T is constant, when delta T is constant, here T is temperature, delta T means change in the temperature. So delta T, change in the temperature, is constant. Here the water in the both beakers are reaching only 60 degrees. So the temperature, they are reaching same temperature, the change in the temperature is same, but the large beaker taking more quantity of heat energy compared to the small beaker. So the quantity of heat energy is directly proportional to the mass of the object. Why it is taking large quantity of heat? Because its mass is more compared to the another beaker. So its water mass is more, it is 1 liter, it is only 250 ml. So the quantity of heat energy is directly proportional to mass. This is equation number 1. Next, another activity. Take one beaker, take 1 liter of water and measure the initial temperature of this water with the help of the thermometer. Now heat the water over the constant flame. Now observe the rise in the temperature for every minute. For example, its initial temperature is 0. For first minute, its temperature is increased to 1 degree Celsius. For 2 minutes, its temperature is increased to 2 degrees. For 3 minutes, its temperature increased to 3 degrees. That means for every minute the temperature is increasing, temperature is constant. For every minute 1 degree temperature is increasing. That means for same interval of the time, the temperature is increasing constantly. Temperature is increasing constantly. Why? Because the mass is the same. There is no change in the mass. Here mass is the constant. We are taking only 1 liter of the water. There is no change in the water quantity. So the temperature is rising constantly by increasing time. If time is increasing means the quantity supplying heat energy also increasing. Time to time the quantity of heat energy is increasing. The supplying quantity of heat energy is increasing. If heat energy is increasing, the temperature of the object is also increasing when the mass of the object is constant. So from this we can write the quantity of heat energy is directly proportional to change in the temperature when the mass of the object is constant. Mass of the object is constant. This is the second equation. So in first equation, quantity of heat energy is directly proportional to mass of the object when change in the temperature is constant. Second equation, quantity of heat energy is directly proportional to change in the temperature when mass is the constant. So Q is directly proportional to M and Q is directly proportional to delta T. So here Q is directly proportional to M and Q is directly proportional to delta T. From one end to equations, this is first equation, this is second equation. From one and two equations, Q is directly proportional to M delta T. So Q is directly proportional to M delta T. Here to remove the proportionality, we have to place one constant value to remove. So Q is equal to, I am writing, to write the is equal to instead of the proportionality, by removing proportionality, we have to place a constant value, that is called proportionality constant. So I am writing S. This is the proportionality constant. Here S is the proportionality constant and S is called, S is equal to specific heat of the substance, specific heat of the substance. So here to write the is equal to instead of the proportionality, to remove the proportionality and write to is equal to, we have to place a constant value. Here I am writing a S, this is the proportionality constant. So S is called specific heat of the substance, specific heat of the substance. So from this equation we can write the equation for the specific heat. Specific heat is equal to, here Q is equal to M S delta T. So S, we are writing equation for the S. Here S is equal to specific heat. S is equal to M and delta T, both are here multiplying, other sides they will divide. So Q by M delta T. So specific heat S is equal to Q by M delta T. Here S is equal to specific heat of the substance, Q is equal to quantity of heat energy, M is equal to mass of the substance, delta T is equal to change in the temperature. Now how can we define specific heat? Quantity of heat energy required to rise the temperature of unit mass of the substance by unit. So this is the definition for the specific heat. That means, for example, 1 unit mass of the substance temperature to increase 1 degree Celsius, how much quantity of heat energy is required, that is called specific heat. So this is the equation for the specific heat of the substance. Now units for the specific heat. What are the CGS units? CGS unit of specific heat. Here we can write units easily depending on the formula. Q means quantity of heat energy. What are the units for the quantity of heat energy? In CGS system, calorie is the unit for the quantity of heat energy. By, what is the CGS unit for the mass? Gram. So gram, and temperature is degrees Celsius. So CGS unit of specific heat is calorie for gram degrees Celsius. And SI unit, SI unit of specific heat. SI unit for the quantity of heat energy is joule. For mass, SI unit for the mass is kilograms, and SI unit for the temperature is Kelvin. So SI unit of specific heat is joule per kilogram Kelvin. These are the CGS units and SI units of the specific heat. 1 calorie per gram degrees Celsius, it is equal to 1 kilocalorie per kilogram Kelvin. So 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to 1 kilocalorie per kg Kelvin. So 1 kilocalorie means 1000 calories are equal to 1 kilocalorie, or 10 to the power of 3 calories are equal to 1 kilocalorie, and it is equal to 4.2 into 10 to the power of 3 joule kilogram Kelvin. So 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to 1 kilocalorie per kg Kelvin. It is equal, and the total, this is totally equal to, so 4.2 into 10 to the power of 3 joule per kilogram Kelvin. In previous activity, we learned rise in the temperature is depending on the nature of the substance. Hence, specific heat also depending on the nature of the substance. If the specific heat of the substance is high, that means, for example, one object's specific heat is high, that means specific heat high, then rise or fall in the temperature is low. Rise or fall is low. That means, if one object's specific heat is high, so in that object temperature rising or falling is very low. For example, in previous activity, heating coconut oil and water, coconut oil's temperature is rising faster than the water, because the water specific heat is higher than the coconut oil. Coconut oil specific heat is 0.5 calorie per gram degree Celsius. Water specific heat is 1 calorie gram degree Celsius. Water specific heat is higher than the oil specific heat. So in previous activity, water temperature is rising slower than the coconut oil. Coconut oil temperature is rising faster than the water. So because of high specific heat. So clearly understand it. If an object's specific heat is high, it can absorb or release, it can gain or lose heat energy slowly. If one object's specific heat is low, it can absorb or lose heat energy faster. Coconut oil specific heat is low, so it is absorbing heat energy faster than the water. That's why in previous activity, coconut oil temperature is rise faster than the water because of low specific heat of the oil. This specific heat concept gives the degree of reluctance of a substance in change in the temperature. Degree of reluctance. So this specific heat concept is giving an idea of degree of reluctance of the change in the temperature. That means, So depending on the specific heat, we can understand the substance, given substance is readily accepting the changes in the temperature or not. Here water is not readily accepting changes in the temperature, but coconut oil, its a specific heat is low, so it is readily accepting changes in the temperature. That's why its a temperature is rise faster. So the specific heat gives an idea of degree of reluctance in the change in the temperature. That means they are the substances we can understand depending on the specific heat of the substance that is accepting the changes in the temperature or not. So we can understand that substance is accepting the changes in the temperature easily or not. Next topic, why is the specific heat different for different substances? So specific heat is different for the different substances. Why? Already we know the rise in the temperature is depending on the kinetic energy of the particles in the substances. So we learned it in previous activities. Now take it is a system, one system. So these are the molecules in that system. They are having different types of energies like linear kinetic energy, rotational kinetic energy, vibrational energy, potential energy. Like that these molecules are having different types of energies. Linear kinetic energy, already we know objects are gaining energy by their motion is called kinetic energy. Linear kinetic energy, if an object is gaining kinetic energy by their velocity or speed, the type of kinetic energy is called linear kinetic energy. Rotational kinetic energy, in the system molecules are gaining kinetic energy by their rotation, so that is called rotational kinetic energy. Vibrational kinetic energy, objects are gaining kinetic energy by their vibrations. And also potential energy, so objects are gaining energy by their position, that is called potential energy. So in the system the molecules are having different types of energies. The total energy in the system is called internal energy of the system. The total energy is called internal energy of the system. The total energy in the system is called internal energy of the system. If we provide heat energy, if we are providing some heat energy to the system, that heat energy is shared by all the molecules among the various forms of the energies. So the heat energy provided to the system is sharing, so between all the particles among the various energies in the form of the various energies. The sharing of heat energy also varies from substance to substance. If the rise in the temperature of the substance is high, that means the maximum shared heat energy in that system is converting into linear kinetic energy among the molecules. For example, one object's temperature is rising slowly, that means the supplied heat energy is less quantity of heat energy only converting into linear kinetic energy. In previous activity, take coconut oil and water. In coconut oil, heat energy is rising faster. That means the supplied heat energy, large quantity, that means maximum quantity of heat energy is sharing and converting into linear kinetic energy. But in water, compared to the coconut oil, less quantity of heat energy only sharing and converting into linear kinetic energy. The shared heat energy, maximum quantity converting into linear kinetic energy among the molecules. So that object's temperature will rise faster. They are having low specific heat, and also specific heat is also varies with temperature. So from this we can understand the specific heat of the different substances are different, because the molecules in the substances are sharing supplied heat energy differently. Some molecules, in some substances molecules are converting maximum heat energy into other forms of the energy, but in some substances they are converting less quantity of heat energy into other forms of the energy. That's why different substances are having different specific heats. If we know the specific heat of the substance, we can calculate the quantity of heat energy required to rise the temperature of 1 unit mass of the substance by 1 degree or by 1 unit. Already we know S is equal to specific heat, S is equal to Q by M delta T, Q by M delta T, Q by M delta T. So from this equation we need quantity of heat energy. To calculate the quantity of heat energy, cross multiply M S delta T. So quantity of heat energy, to calculate the quantity of heat energy, equation is M S delta T. That means, for example, if we want to rise the temperature of 1 degree Celsius of 100 ml water, how much quantity of heat is required? We can calculate by using this equation. Q is equal to Ms delta T. Here M is equal to mass of the substance. S is equal to specific heat of the substance. Delta T is equal to rise in the temperature. By using this equation, we can calculate how much quantity of heat energy is required to rise the particular temperature of the substance. Next, applications of the specific heat. So applications means uses of the specific heat. Mainly 3 uses of the specific heat we are discussing in this lesson. So first one is sunlight. Every day our earth is absorbing large quantity of solar energy from the sun. So mainly water bodies on the earth is absorbing, especially oceans. Oceans are absorbing the large quantity of sunlight every day, and they are balancing or moderating the temperatures on the surface of the earth by absorbing large quantity of the sun rays. So oceans are called heat storehouses. They are called heat storehouses. Oceans are called heat storehouses because they are absorbing large quantity of heat energy every day. Especially near to the equatorial region, the oceans are absorbing the large quantity of heat energy, but the rise in the temperature of the water is low because the specific heat of the water is very high. Even though they are absorbing large quantity of heat energy, the rise in the temperature of the water is low. This is the one advantage of the high specific heat of the water. So by absorbing the large quantity of the heat energy, the oceans in the equatorial region, they can control or moderate the temperatures at the equatorial region. Further, that heat energy will be transferred by the water towards the North Pole and South Pole, and they are balancing the climatic conditions. So this is one use of the high specific heat of the water. and another one is watermelon. So this is a watermelon. If we brought out a watermelon from the freeze, it can retain the coolness for a longer time, because compared to the other fruits, watermelon has a large quantity of water. So because of high specific heat of the watermelon can retain the coolness for a longer time. It can retain. So this is also another use. And third one is samosa. Outside of the samosa looking like cool, but if we eat the samosa, that is hot, because the inside part of the samosa, some vegetables and other materials are present. They are having high specific heat. Because of high specific heat, they will be hot compared to the outer part of the samosa. The outer part of the samosa is looking like cool, but because of high specific heat of the ingredients present inside the samosa, they will be hot inside. These are the three simple applications of the specific heat, what we are observing in our daily life.